There are calls to action in the music. On the grave, to smoke on the grave of someone.
A gritty form of rap with songs and viral dances made to celebrate local murders.
All right, drill music, it's made its way to New York City. How do you guys feel about this art form being in the city? And also, how do you guys feel about local government and the radio stations pretty much taking a stand against the art form? How do you feel about that?
With so many things happening right now, for this to have any kind of priority just makes me feel like they're trying to hide things. Whenever something is happening or whenever there's some kind of noise about an issue that's somewhat trivial, that means they're hiding something bigger.
I agree with Viola. There's so many other things they could focus on, and I don't think the politicians or the radio stations, really are going to make a big change in everything. What I do think they should focus on are the low socioeconomic status issues that are going on in our neighborhoods causing this violence. I don't really think it's the music necessarily.
The system is rigged. We need a new system so that we can actually have the platform for these young people to actually say what they want to say and not feel like they have to become a part of something that's going to have bloodshed. Like, what the heck is going on right now?
I'm all about freedom of speech. Even if the music is trash, freedom of speech. Just like they tried to silence NWA, here it go again. They may have their own agenda. These guys might be saying things or provoking things that they don't want people to hear, so they're trying to silence them. I'm not for it.
It just seems like the young people, they keep hearing, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to stop doing this, oh, don't do that, censor this, censor that. But there's not enough people or programs or organizations that's actually putting forth the effort and the manpower to actually tell these young people, like, this is what you can do.
The music isn't really even the whole problem. The problem is these bloggers and all these other social media influencers promoting the beef, and some of them not even a part of the culture.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with that. I think that a lot of people that listen to the radio don't know that person one is talking about person two. But the radio and these bloggers and all these personalities that aren't really for the culture are letting it be known, like, oh, this song is getting at this person, they did this, they did that. And now these artists, they're young, so they're feeling like publicly humiliated and they feel like they have to retaliate, which is causing the violence.
Yeah, you're right. And a perfect example of that is Gucci Mane released a song last week called Publicity Stunt. I didn't know he was coming at NBA YoungBoy until I seen these bloggers, say, oh, Gucci Mane and Boosie responds to NBA YoungBoy. I don't even know why NBA YoungBoy is even coming at.
So, I don't care for drill music. So if local officials and any other government people want to do anything about it, I don't care. But I will say this, I think that they'll take this as evidence if they don't take anybody off the street or try to silence them. They'll eat it up, in a sense. They'll just compile information and then go after people as they see.
Like the 90s, the music is not the problem. The problem is that they are not listening to the kids that are rapping these lyrics and saying what they're saying. The system is failing these children, just like they failed so many in the early 90s when NWA, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and all these other artists were dropping albums and they were trying to ban them. Listen to those kids. They need to be heard. They need help.
All right, so let me provide a little bit of clarity. So it's not just about silencing the music per se. It's more about not supporting it publicly, because this group and this gang is talking about their dead homies, and this gang heard the song, now they're talking about their dead homies, but they feel disrespected, so now they have to retaliate. And it's just continuing to, they're finding out that these shootings are happening because of the music. So that's where we are disconnected at.
Stopping drill music will not change the life. It will not stop people from out there in them streets with guns. The kids need help. Society needs more from these elected officials to stop what's going on. The music is just an example of what's happening because they're failing and they need a scapegoat. That's it. And see, I feel what you're saying, Chris, but here's my problem. If they can crack down on the music that the kids are saying, why can't they stop the crime?
I understand the clarity that you're giving, but that sounds very similar to when they blamed the movies for that shooting that happened. I believe it was the Dark Knight movie, and somebody just started shooting, pretending to be the Joker. So this is just them blaming something else instead of blaming the people, or at least trying to find help for the people.
Nah, I definitely agree with y'all. Stopping drill music really won't do anything. I think there's so many other things that we need to focus on with our youth. The fact that the things that they're rapping about, we don't like to hear, but it's what they see. So maybe we can kind of start, where it needs to be, start addressing some of these grief issues and all of these other things. Man, it's just so much more other things going on. I mean, and then to me, it's just weird. It's like, let's stop drill music, and especially being in a city with one of the biggest police forces, if not the biggest in the country, and they have all this information and all of this intel. It's like, you need the drill music to stop to prevent these things. It's like, let's focus on getting our youth the real support, man. And at least we can hear them and what's going on through this music.
These politicians think that the drill music is the antecedent to the violence, and it's not. The drill music is the response and the bragging to what initiated the initial violence. And that's the bottom line of that. And I've seen so many times where they use people's social media against them in court. Instead of waiting for it to get that far, they should use whatever it is to, arrest them and prevent it from, getting that far.
Social media definitely plays a part, and some of these bloggers and like academics and all that, they don't make the situation better, because it's kind of like they're playing both sides and provoking the situation. So does that need to change? Yes. But it takes for people to check them. Like OGs need to come back around and check people like academics.
Yeah, the old time always told me, there's no money in cure, it's money in care. So, them helping to pretend like they care, continues to fund the nonsense. And they got the robots walking and all of these other things instead of hiring therapists and the things that we actually need, grief counselors in the community. Let's just stop the music, because that will stop the violence.
It's actually sort of impossible to stop the music. Like, yeah, we have 2 radio stations that dominate like hip hop and R&B, right? You take it off Hot 97, you take it off Power 105, no problem. But you don't take it off YouTube, and we have handheld devices where we can search for it. You don't take it off Spotify, Apple Music. It's like we're playing whack-a-mole.
You have a really good point about the fact that times have changed, and the platforms used to share our music goes beyond radios. So it goes back to what everybody was saying about fixing the people in the community.
Man, this is why I like talking to people. That's an interesting concept. It's like the people that are in power are trying to stop the problem, right? But they might be too old to realize that that's not how you stop the problem, because there are ways around it. But the people that should be in power are killing each other, and they're trying to stop them from killing each other, pretty much so that there can be a future. Oh God, I got a headache.
Stop this violence in our communities. We gonna have to stop being scared. Like that's something that needs to be said. A lot of people are scared to approach these kids and try to pull them out of that life, man, and pull them out of that hell. You gotta walk in there. You gotta walk through that fire, and they gotta respect you. And you're gonna have to know. You gotta check them. That's what it is.
Easier said than done about checking the youth, because I've worked with the youth and they're very angry and they swear they know everything and they don't listen. They really don't. And the people they may listen to is the problem, because the ones that they're listening to may be giving them horrible advice.